Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. Just thought I'd show you kind of what's going on out here today. So we put a new training mechanism, new training tool on Piper here. You can see her, she's kind of irritated and aggravated about it. Piper is wearing her dangle stick there. And so you all know she's been chasing Hoover and chewing on Hoover and had another one of our goats by the leg, being a pup and just playing, and a young dog. She's about 4 months old. And so we came up with this idea. The electric collar wasn't doing any good because anytime we got out of sight, she was still doing her thing. And so we have some friends that raise sheep, and they said, well, here's what we did with our dog, and it solved the problem. They called it a dangle stick. And I said, well, I don't know what a dangle stick is. So they explained it to me. And basically just a leather collar there. Come here, Piper. Come here, Piper. Just a leather collar there with a piece of PVC pipe, and I use swivels on it so it would not bind up on her or kink up. And so when she goes to running and playing and getting pretty crazy, it's just an irritation to her. It's just a hassle and an irritation. And then it gives the goats time to stay away from her, and she can't really keep up with them because it's not hurting her or bruising her or anything like that. She just kind of gets tangled up in it. What Lisa discovered, she was watching her this morning, she said, you know what Piper does for the most part? I said, no. She said she just goes out there in the field and sits down and looks around and watches. So this is something we have to do. We've got to help Piper, and I've read a lot of articles since I heard about this. And come to find out, a lot of people use this idea with livestock guardian pups, and it's a nice, humane, and easy way to get them to leave the goats alone and not chase them and do those kind of things. And so she's pretty happy with that. The goats are happy this morning. I've got some pictures, hopefully we can include in this video, of Hoover. As soon as he saw this on her, he ended up walking right up beside her, wasn't afraid of her anymore. So that's a pretty good deal. And I really think this is going to work. I think it's going to solve the problem that we have with Piper right now. So she's not too happy about it, but she's getting used to it. And see her right there, she walked right by Hoover, and all she's been doing before is go right up to him and chew on him and grab him. And now she's just kind of occupied with her own situation there. So very thankful that we stumbled across this idea and this suggestion. Goats. Bring the goats down here and show you our hay feeder that we've set up for them for outside. Round bale feeder. This is a hay feeder that came to me from another farm, and the fellow was finished with it. He got out of the goat business, and he said, if you want that feeder, you can have it. And so I brought it home, and the front just, we're there where the white goat's at. The front just lays down and opens up, and you stab the bale of hay in there, and the goats are able to get to it from all the way around. It's got its own roof on it, so that was a nice addition, and be able to feed them round bales of hay out here. And then I'll feed them square bales inside the barn whenever it's nasty weather, raining, real windy, cold, snowy or ice or whatever. But this will kind of keep them outside and keep them from staying around the barn all the time. And so you can see how they can get to it from the side there as well. Really like this setup. It seems like I've almost become, I don't know, it seems like I'm almost obsessed with hay feeders, doesn't it? I have 4 hay feeder styles down at the barn that I've done a video on, and now this one, but it seems like I'm almost obsessed with methods for feeding hay. So we'll keep an eye on Piper, and we'll see what goes on, and we'll see how this new method works with her. You see her there messing with her just dangle stick and slowing her down. And now she's with the goats and they're not concerned about her at all. So we're going to keep an eye on how that works and keep you posted on whether or not this method works. If anybody out there's got a livestock guardian dog and you have a problem with them chewing on your goats, this is definitely something that I feel like is helping us turn the corner. I guess my goats decided to knock the camera over. So I wanted to show you a close-up view of what we call the dangle stick. And well, I don't call it that. Well, I do call it that, but that's what I was told that it's called, and that we've been using on Piper to keep her from chewing on, fighting, chasing, biting the goats. This is first of all, this is a very humane way to deal with the problem that we're having. It's just a regular leather dog collar. This is actually the collar we had for some coon hounds at one time, and with the big ring in the center. So what I've done is I've put a swivel right here in the middle. This is a swivel here that I use for some of my trapping gear and foothold trapping setups for predators. So you can see that it won't bind and it won't twist, and it will just sit there and spin whenever she's running with it or carrying it in her mouth or whatever she decides to do. And then I have a clasp here that I can open up and take it off if I want to. And then I just ran a eye bolt through the piece of PVC pipe, and so basically it can just spin. It can do anything it needs to do. You've seen her carrying it around the field and dragging it around on her out in the field. It doesn't weigh hardly anything, so there's no concern of it being too much weight on her neck. We've just seen this make a huge difference. I've seen her kind of nibble at a goat a time or two. Lisa's seen her do that a time or two, but they just kind of look at her and go on about their business, and she doesn't seem to continue to stay after them. That's pretty cool. That's the goal. One of the concerns, we've seen some comments, and one of the concerns is that once this dog has tasted blood, she'll always be blood hungry for that with the goats. I would have said that myself as well over the years, but I've done a lot of reading on this, a lot of research on this, and I really believe that we can work her out of this, and we're gonna give it our dead level best. And she just, we've seen her pick this thing up. She's figured out now how to pick this up in her mouth, and so if she does want to run, she can pick it up in her mouth and she can run. It's kind of hard to mess with a goat when you got this in your mouth. She can't bite a goat. So I just kind of wanted to give you a close up and just show you what we got here. There's no way it can twist or bind or anything else. Sometimes it gets between her legs and she just kind of messes around until she gets her leg back over it, and that's the dangle stick. It seems to be doing the trick.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video.